Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of the Bandwagon Hockey Podcast. I am Mitchell Thompson. With me is Ryan Hindman, formerly known as the Professional Amateurs Podcast. However, going forward, it will just be Ryan and I. It's been about a month, and I think we did 41 episodes under the name Professional Amateurs.
Yeah, I know for sure we hit 40.
Yeah, I know definitely we got to 40. But yeah, so from here on out, just gonna be me and Ryan. We're gonna be known as the Bandwagon Hockey Podcast. And yeah, so we're gonna go from there. We like the name. Came up with it last week. Working on some kinks. Switching some naming around. Just kind of finicky stuff like that. So I don't believe we're going to have an intro for this episode just because of some of those kinks.
And I'm sure every once in a while people will notice like just inconsistencies in bios or like profile pictures all over the place. It's gonna take a little bit to get it right.
Yeah, so we ask you all to sort of bear with us as we make this transition on the fly, while now transitioning into consistent 2 podcasts a week, likely coming at you probably Wednesdays and Sunday nights, probably potentially also Mondays, depending on, schedules and stuff. But we're going to be recording on Tuesday nights and Sunday afternoons. So that'll be good to sort of keep up with the league a little better. I was noticing that when we were just doing the one a week, we were sort of either missing or forgetting a lot of stuff that would go down on Saturdays when literally every single team always plays. So this will hit that a little bit better because the Saturday stuff will be fresher in our minds on Sunday. But yeah, so without further ado, it's been a month. So for this episode, we are going to do a little check-in sort of, I don't want to call it a recap, but basically what have you done over the past month while we've been MIA? And so we're going to do that.
/ like just mid-season check-in. We could call it that. We could get lazy.
Yeah, okay, we could call that. Actually, you know what? Every team's played 41 games. We can call it that. So it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of a catch-up and a little bit of a mid-season check-in. Today we're going to do the Eastern Conference. We're going to basically run through the 16 teams in the East in order of where they appear in the standings. And then we're going to do the same thing with the West on Sunday. And yeah, so Ryan, unless you have anything to add, we could probably just hop into the historic Boston Bruins.
As much as I hate it, yeah, let's get into it.
So we did I guess we could even reference our preseason predictions, but we didn't really plan for that. So
no,
maybe we can probably just
pull it up.
Yeah, okay, if you want to pull it up quick, just to sort of make fun of ourselves, maybe just do the standings. I think that's all we did anyway.
Yeah.
The Boston Bruins are currently on pace to win more. Did Tampa set the record? Okay. So 2018-2019, when Tampa went they won 62 games in the 82 game season and then got swept by Columbus. Is that the record for most wins in a season?
I don't know. Did they get it?
I thought it was the record for most wins in the season, but not the most points in a season. I'm going to do a very quick search. Most NHL.
Yeah,
wins.
I definitely think they didn't get the. I don't know how. Right.
Because I remember they were sort of it's 62. So the Detroit Red Wings had 60. Oh no, the Red Wings had 62 in 1995, 1996, and then Tampa matched that in 2018-19.
It's crazy how such a historic season just slipped my mind.
Well, yeah, I mean, what did they do in the playoffs? Okay.
Moving right along.
So here's why I wasn't sure. So Tampa had 128 points that season. The record for most points in a season is 132 by the Montreal Canadiens, even though Montreal actually had less wins because they had a boatload of ties, I imagine. And then even that year, Detroit had 62 wins as well. They had 131 points, which is 3 more than what Tampa had. So
okay.
Tied for the most wins in a season, not the most points in a season, although the NHL's scoring system or point system is stupid, so I don't really read into that much. But yeah, Boston's on pace to beat that. It's looking like they're on pace for about 60, 67, 66 wins.
You want to know where we both had them in the Atlantic Division.
We had them beneath Ottawa, didn't we?
We both had them 6th in the division, while missing playoffs.
That's so funny. Like, yeah, but I mean, kind of everyone else did too. Do you not think so?
Yeah,
like,
well,
even the models had them like maybe making the playoffs, like barely.
I think all of the quote-unquote hockey guys are coming out and saying now that, oh yeah, we knew Boston was going to fall, but they were never going to be out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we all suspected them to be a little bit dog poo-poo, and guess what? They're not.
Like, Brad Marchand missed a freaking week, dude. Like, that guy was supposed to be out till after Christmas, and he missed a week.
They were supposed to be missing half their team for over half the season. Like, that's what we were told going into the season, and they got everybody back by, like, midway through November.
That's crazy. So I have 2 questions regarding Boston, and we could probably move on. They're just an absolute, like, station. They're a wagon. I was gonna say station wagon, but that's not very like intimidating. They're a historically good team. They win in so many different ways. They're an extremely impressive team. Do you think they break the record for wins in a season, or do you think they sort of like regress to the mean a little bit in the second half?
I think they're definitely going to regress a little bit, but not in the sense that anyone's going to come close to them. I think they're going to run away with the Atlantic.
They already have.
Yeah, they basically already have. So, like, I don't see anyone coming close to them, but I think, like, I don't know, like, Bergeron has got to slow down a little bit, right? And Krejci just coming back. I don't know. Is it sustainable?
It's mid-season, like.
I guess it's like,
it's not really a matter of sustainability because they've done that. It's almost just a matter of, do you think they're gonna do it? Like,
yeah, but like with players getting that, I don't want to say old because it's
old.
That's ridiculous to say, but they are in a hockey sense. But
yeah,
like
everything we say is in a hockey sense. So.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's so hard to keep up. Like, what's he at specifically this year?
Who, Bergeron?
He's at 35 points in 43 games. Like, come on.
He's point a game playing Selke defense.
Yeah.
Krejci's even at a better point pace than that, and he freaking went to to Czechia for a year. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think they're gonna end up in like the high 50s for wins. I think they maybe get to 60. I do think they potentially slow down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't have really any reason for think that. Like, they're 34-5-4. Whatever they do at this point isn't going to surprise me. So that's just kind of a gut feel because
they're first in goals. They're first in goals per game, and they're also first in goals allowed per game.
They haven't even given up 100 goals yet this year. Like, it's a joke.
They only allow 2.1 goals a game.
That's a joke, and they're scoring nearly 4.
Yeah, they have the first place ranked penalty kill, and the third power play. Like,
we're taking too long on Boston. What are your thoughts on a Pasternak contract? What would you give him right now?
Give him everything.
What would you give him right now?
$88 million.
8
Probably
times 11?
more.
That's
Probably
less than
more.
I would go. I'd match McDavid's contract if he made it a necessity. If it came down to McDavid's contract or he walks, I'm giving him that contract.
Yeah. You probably do it.
Are you gonna split hairs over $1.5 million?
No, I'm not.
That guy's staying.
The cap's gonna shoot up, and they got no one coming.
And that's the other thing. Like, who's gonna replace him? Like,
nobody. So you probably do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's do Toronto and Tampa at the same time because we are on another, march to a first-round matchup. Like, same time last year, these two teams were locked into that 2-3 matchup because Florida was running away with it.
Yeah.
This year it's just kind of flipped over, and Boston's running away with it, and no one is close to Tampa. Florida is currently 11 points back, and Tampa has 3 games in hand on Florida. So we've got another Toronto and Tampa Bay first-round series coming up, and they have approximately 39 games each to jockey for who gets home ice in Game 7. Ryan, what do you think about these two teams? And is this just going to be another situation like last year where they go to the brink and then Tampa just wins it? Do you think this year could be different? What do you think?
Well, I guess I'll just start with the playoff question there first, and because I think it's a quicker answer. I think if it looks like what it's going to be, I think Tampa wins it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that coming out any differently. But that being said, I think what the Maple Leafs are doing this season is ridiculously impressive.
In what sense? Like, how do you mean?
There's a lot going on here. Like, they're playing with such a ridiculously injured defense core.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
That's
it's not super strong to begin with. And they have like 4 regulars out, or at one point they did.
They've had guys going in and out, like significant guys in and out of the lineup all year, and like Muzzin straight up just hasn't played.
Yeah, and like not even just the defense. Like I feel like every week something's coming out with new players being week to week or out for the season. Like Robertson is the latest one. Like they've had to deal with a lot this season and 2 brand new goalies, and they've done well.
So the team has played 44 games this season. Morgan Riley's played 29 of those.
Yeah.
Timothy Liljegren has played 33. Connor Timmins has been found money for them. He's played 16. TJ Brody's only played 28. Justin Hall's played a bunch, or he's played all of them. And then Muzzin's only played 4.
And by all accounts, Matthews is playing through something.
Yeah, he's isn't it a wrist or something?
It's gotta be. It's probably always been a wrist.
Yeah, but and he's at 21 goals and 48 points in 42 games. So like, it's crazy. I want
new level. Like we don't want to go too long here on Toronto, but Marner is doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, Marner like low key is. Like I would argue with someone. I would listen to someone's argument if they wanted to say that Marner's the most important player on that team. I would listen to that argument. I would honestly argue in favor of it, to be honest.
I thought you were gonna take it one step further and say best, and I was really gonna like push back.
He's not
on
best
that.
Player, no.
Yeah, but I can get on board with most important.
And he's also probably the best winger in the NHL. I don't know. That's like a big claim to make because like Tampa has Kucherov and he's ridiculous. It'll be a good series. I just want Toronto to win a series. I'm over the jokes. I'm over it. I want Dubas to keep his job there. I really like what he does. I just don't like the whole. I mean, we kind of had a debate about it before the break. Like, I don't like the philosophy of win the playoff round and you're in, and everybody keeps their jobs, and if not, everyone's gone because like the grass is not going to be greener.
Yeah,
you're going to bring in like whoever that's going to sign like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't need to have this debate.
Yeah, okay, we'll move on. Okay, let's move on to Florida. They've turned it around a little bit lately. They're back over 500. They're at 21, 20, and 4. Matthew Tkachuk is the only player on this team that is like pulling his end of the bargain. Brandon Montour is second on this team in points.
Yeah.
Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I'm well aware because I have him on my fantasy team.
Okay, that's awesome.
And he was a free agent pickup, and I got him the second that Ekblad went down, and it's been like one of the better things to happen to my absolutely garbage team.
He's playing 24 and a half minutes a night and has 36 points. Barkov's at a point a game, but from what I've read, like I haven't seen a ton of Florida games, but from what I've read, Barkov's been underwhelming. Reinhart, Bennett, they've all basically taken a step back because like last year was the perfect storm of players having career seasons.
Yeah,
and the only guy that's really continued on that trajectory is Matthew Tkachuk, who they did not have last year, and who is also just a complete superstar, who also has a argument to be the best winger in the NHL. Do you have anything to say about them? Like, do you think they go on a run? Do you think they squeak in? They're 8 points back right now.
No, I don't.
They're only 4 points back of Pittsburgh.
There's no part of me that thinks they get in.
Really? None?
No, none. Nothing about them inspires me. Nothing. Okay. But the only thing that jumps out to me when I look at this roster is Colin White with 5 goals and 7 assists in 40 games.
Why does that jump out to you?
Because I was hoping that guy had a better comeback story.
Really? He didn't.
Yeah.
You were expecting anything?
I was hoping for more than 5 goals.
Okay. I thought you meant you were sort of expecting it, and I was like, dude, did you watch him?
I don't think I was expecting any. I think I was expecting more than this. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, honestly, that's kind of where I would expect him to be, depending on how many minutes is he playing.
He's also only playing like 11. That's not even that bad. 11 minutes.
11 minutes a night, 12 points in 40 games. That's a fourth liner. That's not bad for a fourth line guy. Third and a half line. I don't like bottom six, I guess.
Yeah,
a high end four. He's a high end.
At the end of the day, it's Colin White, but like I was hoping he had a better bounce back at him.
Like, let's be real. He was a first round pick. He got that big contract, but he's a high end fourth line player in this league. Maybe like a solid third liner. Anyway, let's move on.
Top tier locker room guy, but we can
top tier locker room guy. Okay. Let's jump. Okay, Buffalo Sabres are up next.
Electric.
I don't want to spend the whole time talking about Tage Thompson because everyone does that, but like, holy shit, dude!
The whole team is electric. Like, we don't even have to. The whole team is so fun.
Like they have Tage Thompson and Dylan Cousins down the middle for the next however many years they want.
Yeah,
and like Dylan Cousins is becoming like an $8 million player. Like, if he wants to, he could probably ask for more money than Jack Hughes got. It's not going to happen because I feel like Buffalo got really lucky with that Tage Thompson contract, so they're probably going to try to keep their forwards beneath that. But so, like, I don't know, like looking at Matthew Boldy's 7x7, maybe that's what Cousins gets. Or something shorter term, like a 3x6, 3x5.5, something like that.
As a center, he might get more.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm saying because of the Tage Thompson thing, like maybe $7 million is the number that they give Cousins. Like, I don't know. But like, I don't know. Dahlin's all of a sudden like a top 10 defenseman in the NHL. Owen Power's a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
And they just got like prospects coming out of their ass. Like, they've still got Jack Quinn.
Like, Paterka only has 7 goals, but he is fun to watch.
Yeah. Like, Jack Quinn's awesome. Paterka's been really good. Middlestad's having a resurgence. Like, he was like an 8th overall pick in like 2017, the Nico Hischier draft. I think he went 8th that year. Jeff Skinner's all of a sudden not an overpaid player. Like, he's point a game at $9 million. It's kind of on par. Alex Tuch's a rock star. Should be the next captain, although I think Kyle Okposo's the captain right now, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious.
But they just have so much coming. And now all of a sudden, this Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, that everyone's been talking about. He's been like a Chell god for years as a prospect. And now he's actually playing well. He's not even like their best goalie prospect. They've got a couple other guys.
Yeah.
Like Devin Levi. And then I think they have another guy that Jeff Merrick was talking about the other day. I forget his name. Playing in NCAA.
Out of the teams, quote unquote, on the rise, they give me the most hope out of any of them to sneak in.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's not even really close.
No, that's not even like a debate. And like, I would take, like, obviously, like, championship contending teams aside, because like you'd take Colorado's core over anyone else's, for example.
Yeah.
But they're like, that's probably the best collection of young talent in the league.
Yeah,
I would say.
Sure.
And I don't think it's also even that close. And a lot of it, I don't even want to say it's been luck based, but like Tage Thompson, like, give me a break. Like, that's insane that just happened. Rasmus Dahlin went from like solid top 4
up on him as like the top prospect that people were sold on him.
Yeah, like, I wasn't ready to be like over Rasmus Dahlin, but I was kind of ready for him the hype of him having been a first overall pick and reaching that sort of level of player was gone for me.
I was ready for him to settle into, okay, he's the number 1 D on this team, and that's okay.
I was ready for him to sort of like take the backseat and let Owen Power become that, but now it looks like they're probably both going to be that.
But like,
they're both just going to be elite defensemen on the left side. It's insane.
Detroit.
Okay, let's move on to Detroit. I honestly don't have a lot to add here for this team because all of their franchise studs are having shit seasons. Like, Seider's not playing well, Raymond's not playing well, and it's all those like guys that they signed in the offseason for $4.5 million a year that are like carrying the team to a 500 record.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one word: disappointing. Like, there's nothing really. I don't know.
Like, do you have any feelings toward this team? Like,
No,
why
I
doesn't
don't.
Dylan Larkin have a contract yet?
Well, first of all, I think they're frauds to be where they even are in the standings.
Well, they have 7 loser points.
Yeah, Ottawa has more wins than they do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's nothing about them that makes me excited. Like, I really loved what Sider and Raymond did last year, and I was really excited, and still am, to see what they will do in the future, but it's definitely like a sophomore slump for this team.
Their team, like the Detroit Red Wings franchise, has lost a ton of hype this year. Like they were so exciting last year with their rookies and
I
playing.
probably would have had them one out of like Ottawa, Detroit, Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Wait, let me go check on where we had all 3 of those. We can move on to Ottawa while we're training.
Yeah. Well, I think we all had Ottawa above those teams because Ottawa's core is a little bit older. But no, like I'll be interested to see what Larkin gets. I don't see any reason why he should take less than what Matthew Barzal got from the Islanders, and I don't think Steve Yzerman's going to give that to him. Philip Hronek's awesome, but again, like he's 26, I think. I've got him on my fantasy team. He's 25, drafted in 2016. I don't really know what his contract looks like, but I would imagine there's not a lot of time left on it because he's just kind of breaking out now. So I'd imagine he's got a payday coming up. I don't know, kind of a weird team. Like they had that big spending spree in the offseason, which has helped buoy them. But I don't really know if being 18, 17, and 7 was what they really wanted this year. They probably should have taken another year to be sort of at the bottom of the standings, which they are not.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird call to just go and sign like a bunch of middle of the lineup players.
Like just guys that make you good enough to not suck enough to have a good lottery chance.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay, speaking of teams exactly like that, the Ottawa Senators, I don't know. They're hitting a little bit of a midseason slump right now. It looked like they might have been able to make a run. I think they were like 7 points back of Pittsburgh with 2 games in hand about a week ago. That ship has sailed. Playoffs are not happening for this team this year. What are your thoughts, Ryan? I'll let you take the reins on this one. I don't want to spend too much time.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far either, other than the fact that they even are where they are because of the power play. Like
it's crazy.
That is the only thing about this team that is really fun to watch.
I didn't realize how unbalanced it was. Like they're one of those. They're easily a bottom 3 team in the league at 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's insane. I didn't realize
think
that.
They may be last now. After these last 2 games, they might be last.
Yeah, they're just so bad. I just mean like as a whole. I don't mean in terms of like goal scoring or anything.
Yeah.
I just mean they just suck at even strength.
No, the team is just ridiculously top heavy. The depth, one has like not been great from the beginning, and injuries have just completely exposed that.
Yeah, their bad depth is now injured, which means that their depth is the AHL, which is not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Goaltending started kind of decent, but has very much tailed off in the last
yeah.
And the one super bright spot on this team going forward is Tim Stützle. Like he's scoring at nearly a 40 goal pace, and he just turned 21 years old yesterday. Like it's pretty crazy what he's doing. He's over point per game. Like
Sanderson too. He's on pace for 30 points this year. He's playing 21 minutes a night, which is pretty much exactly what everyone was hoping for from him this season.
He's already the best 2-way defenseman on this team. It's not even particularly close.
No, it's really not.
No.
So also of note, I think this is extremely funny, and I just wanted to point it out. Drake Batherson is a minus 29.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure bottom 3 in the league. It's a joke.
Okay.
It's a joke.
It's funny. It's hilarious. Okay, the Montreal Canadiens doing their best to sort of jump into that Bedard race because they were in a very similar spot to both Ottawa and Detroit about a month ago in terms of winning just a little bit too much when everyone knew that they were going to fall out of it eventually. And this team's falling out of it. Cole Caulfield might score 50 goals this year.
He has 26 goals.
I know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I did actually. I saw that the other day. I think I saw that he was at 24. So he must have
that's electric.
It's awesome. So yeah, that's really cool. Like if he puts up, I don't know, 50 goals and he's on pace for 50 goals and 70 points. Like if that's
I've never changed my I've never changed my opinion about a player like so drastically. I used to hate this guy when he was a prospect. I used to hate him.
Why?
Because he just like, I don't know, he was on US, he was beating us, and he looked like a little rat. I don't know. Was not a fan. But now he's in the NHL just like lighting it up, and his personality is so just like electric.
He's so small. You just want to hug him.
No, he was a little rat. I don't know. I didn't like him.
Yeah.
But now,
This team's got a nice core. They could definitely use one more piece to sort of accent this or complement this core, because I don't know what the hell is going on with Slafkovsky, dude, but they're doing everything wrong with him right now, just like they did with Kotkaniemi. I'm noticing a trend with this franchise.
He's not NHL ready.
No, he's not. Is he still playing? Where is he right now? Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he's got 10 points in 40 games.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Like, because they did the same thing with Jesperi Kotkaniemi. They drafted an underdeveloped 18-year-old. Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really much to say. It's just a bad team that needs to be worse this season.
Dadonov has 2 goals in 35 games. Has anyone ever dropped off like harder than Evgeny Dadonov?
How did he get to Montreal? The Weber trade. He was him for the Weber contract, right? With Vegas? That had to be it. Yeah, that had to be it. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, because I know Vegas has Weber's LTIR. Okay, you ready to move on?
Yeah.
The Central? Or not the Central, the Metro?
Yeah.
Okay, Carolina Hurricanes, they're sort of... Okay, they're not running away with the division yet, but like in terms of pace recently, they caught New Jersey so fast. New Jersey had that sort of spell where they were losing a bunch. I think they went 2-6-1 or something. And Carolina just passed them, kept playing at their pace, just of all business. They're just such a good team every year.
They also
Natchez is sick.
They also have 3 starting goalies.
Yeah, okay, that's the other thing. Kochetkov got sent down.
Yeah.
He's the best of the 3.
Yeah, because he has a 2-way contract.
No, I know, but it's wild.
Yeah.
They gave him a 4-year deal a couple months ago. And
if I were them, I'm trading the shit out of Ronta at the deadline.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you just have that conversation with Kochetkov and be like, hey, man, we gave you your 4-year contract, and in exchange, you're going to be the starter next year. However, we're trying to win a Stanley Cup this year, and having 3 NHL-caliber goalies is going to help that.
I guess so, but...
I just hang on to the 3 because I don't think Carolina gives a shit, and they already gave Kochetkov his contract, so what's he going to do?
Also, have you seen the clips of this guy? Maybe the most electric personality in the NHL.
Kochetkov?
Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't seen anything.
I'll send you a few afterwards.
Okay.
Oh, the best.
For the record, Ryan saying he's going to send me a few means I'm going to have 17 TikToks by 9 o'clock tonight to watch before I go to bed.
Yeah, probably. As long as TikTok hears me correctly and they just curate it.
Yeah, algorithm. Pyotr Kochetkov. Natchez is a star. Aho's a star. Svechkov's a star. Brent Burns is awesome. Taking over for Tony DeAngelo perfectly.
But now he's hurt again.
Is he hurt again?
I think he's hurt again.
And it's crazy that this team is doing this. With Pacioretty in and out of the lineup. Didn't he score a hat trick in his first game back?
I guess so. Yeah.
Did he? Or
I mean, he has 3 goals. I don't know.
Oh no, he scored 2 in his second game back, and then 1 after. I thought he scored a hat trick.
No, he's out again with lower body, whatever that means.
Kotkaniemi is playing 14 minutes a night. He has 16 points in 44 games. And Teuvo Teravainen only has 18 points this season, only 3 goals.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. This team's that good with only that, and it's a very top-heavy team.
I've consistently seen Teravainen on the free agent list, and I'm like, what is going on with this guy?
Yeah.
But they've never had high-end scoring talent. Never.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's true. They're just such a good team, and Brindamore's such a good coach.
Yeah, they're just a defensive unit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I shouldn't have said that they don't have a lot of depth, but they just have a lot of good players, no great players, but also no bad players.
That's literally it. They have a ton of underrated players, but no elite players. Yeah. If that makes sense.
I would say Aho is an elite player.
I
Not
guess,
like
I
top
guess,
end on
I
a
guess,
championship contender, but like
let me
you know what I mean?
rephrase: elite point producers.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to New Jersey Devils, who do have an elite point producer. That would be
Yep.
Jack Hughes. He has 55 points this season in 44 games. He looks like he is a shoo-in to score 50. He's at 29 right now. That's crazy, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like him scoring 50 goals, would not have thought that. If I were to have like guessed what a Jack Hughes breakout season would look like, it'd be like 30 and 70 for 100, and it's looking like he's going to put up 50 and 50 for
Yeah,
100.
like
Like,
I'm gushing over Stutzla. This is way crazier. Like this is
yeah,
insane.
it's wild. And like, yeah, I don't know. This is just a really good hockey team. They sort of hit a mid-season slump. They lost a bunch of games there, but that kind of just comes with growing pains. That just comes with an 82 game season.
Yeah,
Everybody sort of overreacted.
but then they're 7-1-2 in their last 10 again. Like
Yeah, so it cancels out. Like stuff like that just works itself out when you're a good hockey team.
yeah,
Jesper Bratt's cooled down, but he's still at a point a game. It'll be interesting to see how that contract goes. He shears at a point a game, 20 goals. He could score 40 this year. He'll definitely score 30. Dougie Hamilton's almost at a point a game.
yeah.
And then like they just got so many good players. Like Dawson Mercer's young, Tatar, Sharon Govich. Like there's just,
Remember when the Golden Knights scratched Tatar in the playoffs?
yeah, that was funny. And didn't they trade? They traded like a first. Excuse me. They traded a first.
A first, second, and a third for him.
And yeah, I was gonna get to that, but I kept burping. But yeah, no, just such a good team. Like their cap structure is ridiculous. Like I can't believe Jack Hughes. I think Dom's model has Jack Hughes as a $15 million player already.
Yeah, like
that is
going to be the best contract in the league.
This is the first season of his new deal. Like, are we kidding here? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Rangers. I guess honestly, this is kind of a team that I haven't paid a lot of attention to. I was kind of all over them. It's kind of all over them last year because of like Shesterkin's historic season, and then they were always in the news because he was carrying them to like a really good record. And now they're kind of just humming along, 25, 13, and 7. Like it's a good record, a lot of loser points. Shesterkin's giving them 918 goaltending, so like he hasn't been sort of the world beater that he has been, but he's still like it's still elite numbers for a goalie. But the team's just better than it was last year. Like Trocheck's been awesome. They've got their big three, I guess, of Panarin, Zibanejad, and Fox. Kreider's not obviously scoring at a 50-goal pace. No one was expecting that, but he's scoring at a 30-plus goal pace, which is pretty awesome for...
Yeah, from what I've read too, Keandre Miller is really, like, he's here.
He's a monster.
Like,
I have him in fantasy, dude. He's like 5 hits and like 4 blocks, couple shots awesome. Every night. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, and he's got 25 points in 45 games. Like, that's
which is like
good production too.
22 minutes a night
behind Fox. Like,
yeah, that's good stuff. Like he's just, how old is he? He's 22. Oh
yeah,
that's awesome.
He's another one of those Chell gods that just always rises so quick.
And like, yeah, I don't know. This team, yeah, I don't know. He's like a younger Trouba, honestly.
Yeah.
But better, like just better offensively, less dirty. Like that's kind of how Trouba plays too, right? Like big, mean.
Yeah, and then there's Laugh and Kako.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna mention them to be honest. Yeah. Like I'm so sick of talking about those guys and the what ifs that the Rangers are with or without them. Like they are what they are, honestly. Like I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. Save that conversation.
Moving on.
It seems like we hit on them every other week.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay, Washington Capitals. This is a team that Ottawa had a legitimate spitting chance at. Is that an expression? Did I just say spitting chance?
Yeah.
They could have spit and it would have landed on the Washington Capitals. That's how close they were to Washington in the standings. And now Washington's just kind of like taking off a bit. Like Obi's going to score 50. He's like, same old. Kuznetsov's going to have his 80 points. Dylan Strome's putting up a bunch of assists.
Did I read that Strome was healthy scratched or something the other night?
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what that's about. That might have been some like disciplinary thing or something. I don't know. Very weird.
John
and for some reason, Eric Gustafson has 26 points this season. I don't know what that's about. He had that monster. Pardon?
Yeah, it's true. Didn't he have a hat trick?
Eric Gustafson did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And so the reason I know him so well, which is funny, he put up like 60 points in his, I want to say it was his second season with
Yeah,
Chicago.
he had a ridiculous year. It
Here,
was crazy. He like carried my defense one year in fantasy out of nowhere.
I'm gonna bring it up. Okay, so he was just kind of screwing around. So he came over to Chicago as a 23-year-old. For whatever reason, didn't play in the NHL as a 24-year-old. And in his age 25 season, he put up 16 points in 35 games. Also, for reference, in his age 23 season, he put up 14 points in 41 games. And then he put up 60 points in 79 games in his third season in the NHL. Like, just out of nowhere. This is the 18-19 season, so, like, pre-COVID. And he's kind of been, he's been passed around since. So he got traded to Calgary, and then he signed in Philly, and then got moved to Montreal, it looks like, and then he played in Chicago last year, and then now he's with Washington. So he's been around the block and back a few times. So
he's like the defensive Galchenyuk, essentially.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. So actually, that's so good.
One really good season, then just
one really good season as like a really young player too.
Yeah.
Damn, good job, Brian.
Thanks, man.
All right. Yeah, but not a lot on Washington. Kind of the status quo for them. They're going to sneak in as a wild card team like they have the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that John Carlson has 1 year, too. Like, I think that's a little bit important to mention.
He's what?
John Carlson has 1 year.
Oh, like, that's right. You mentioned that before.
He had an ear taken off by a puck, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, my God. What?
I did not, watch the video because I didn't want to. But like he had to have his ear he had to have his ear reattached or something.
I want to see a video.
I
did not know that happened.
Headline?
No, because you want to know why? Because that happened on like Christmas Eve.
No, it was more recent than that.
Carlson out indefinitely after taking slap shot to head, December 24th.
Oh, it was just okay, I guess it was just reported 7 days ago that he had to have his ear reattached after taking the slap shot to the head.
I think I saw that. I thought that, but I kind of just glossed over it. Like I didn't really read it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's wild.
That is wild. So that's a huge loss for them. Yeah, let's move on. Pittsburgh, honestly, could we have not just grouped them in with Washington? Like just the same old. A little bit above or way above fake 500. Just a little bit above real 500.
Crosby's still Crosby.
Crosby's just disgusting.
Gross.
The core is so good, but there's just no depth here. The drop-off after Brandon Rust on the team points leaders is insane.
Malkin's back. I'll apologize to Malkin.
He is back. Yeah, he's really good. Tristan Jarry's been really good as well. He's got a 918 save percentage, but this team just doesn't really have a lot going for them in terms of depth. They're just a formality, honestly, if they get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they'd be playing either Boston or Carolina, and either of those teams are going to crush them. Assuming, obviously, that Boston and Carolina win their divisions, which I think are probably the safest bets right now. But
yeah.
Obviously, Boston, definitely. I would bet Carolina. Okay, let's move on from Pittsburgh. It'll be a good playoff race this year. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping Florida can win a few more games here, and then maybe Buffalo can take advantage of their games in hand.
Yeah.
Make it a legitimate race between those 4 teams. So Washington, Pittsburgh, Florida, and Buffalo for the 4 teams for 2 spots because last year we just didn't have any playoff races.
I want to see Buffalo in so bad.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. Okay, moving on to the Islanders. I genuinely just don't have anything to say about this team. Barzal's at a point a game. Brock Nelson's just under that, and then it's a bunch of guys with. And then Noah Dobson. And, has Sorokin. Sorokin's been awesome, and Varlamov's been a great backup, but, this team is not going to make the playoffs. And it's not even because they're, far out of it. They have the same amount of points as Pittsburgh, but they're just such an uninspiring team.
I love the core. I hate the roster.
You love the core?
Just think of what they have to build around here. Sorokin, Barzal, and then that defense. I love it. Okay, yeah,
Dobson, Pelech, and Pulock.
Yeah, I love that base, but everything else is dog shit. I kind of forgot about Pulock and Pelech. Yeah.
Also, again, haven't watched a ton of Islanders games this year, but trading was it the 13th overall pick for Alexander Romanov?
Oh, that was so bad.
Like, and who was that pick? Wasn't it like who was that pick?
It doesn't even matter because it was so unnecessary.
I'm gonna find out who that pick was that the Islanders traded away. It was Frank Nazar. He's sick.
Oh, he's sick.
He's so good. Is he? Yeah, no, he's American. He had a.
Anyways, Islanders suck. Lou Lamoriello, you know how we feel.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I don't know. Just a weird team, old team. Yeah, whatever. Okay, Philly. Dude, I just looked at the standings. Columbus is 11 points behind Montreal for second last in the conference.
Yep.
Oh my God. Philly's only a game under 500. Yeah, okay, you know what? I read an article the other day about how it was like I get a lot of Flyers Twitter because I follow that Evil Gritty account.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. And it's so funny because he's like all in on the tank. Like he just wants the team to suck so they can get a good pick because it's the only way out of this. And like they go and win like 6 out of 8 or something. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Just enough.
Tortorella won't let them properly tank.
Like what a bad hire. They're gonna end up with the 9th overall pick. Like right now, they are in. Yeah, honestly, they like right now they would have the 9th overall pick if like the lottery went according to plan.
Torch can't lose games, man. He can't be losing those games.
What a bad hire. What a bad what a poorly run franchise right now.
So bad.
And like, didn't they scratch Kevin Hayes? Like, what was that about?
Johnny Gaudreau should be there right now. Like,
yeah. But remember, like, do you remember seeing that? Like, just they scratched Kevin Hayes for no reason. It's just
being torts. It's a joke.
I don't get that. And all their guys, like, they're just. Oh wow, Connecting's having a good year. They should trade him. Tony DeAngelo. They traded 3 draft picks for Tony DeAngelo. I love that for them. Owen Tippett's having a solid season. Nice piece from the Giroux trade. Provorov's a bum. Travis Sanheim signed a big ass contract, $50 million contract, and dipped.
And then we haven't even gotten to Rasmus yet.
Oh, Ryan, I was getting there. Cam York. Dude, I thought he was going to be so good. He was the captain of that World Junior team. Yeah. Ziegler scored every point in existence.
I mean, how old is he? He's got to be like...
He's young. He's the same age as Ziegler. He's 2019 draft. He's 22. Okay. He's only played 17 games. I would imagine that's the Torts effect. Like, he should be playing games right now. And then our boy, the analytics darling, Rasmus Ristolainen has 2 points, 0 goals. 0 goals in 37 games. He had 0 points in, I believe, 34 games going into his 35th game. He had 0 points in 34 games. And no, that's not some like back of the lineup minimum deal kind of guy. This is a $5.5 million defenseman playing 18 minutes a night.
Such a monstrosity.
I'd like to repeat that. This is a $5.5 million defenseman playing 18 minutes a night, and they traded a first-round draft pick for this man. The Buffalo Sabres collected a first-round draft pick that I believe ended up being 12th overall for Rasmus Ristolainen.
Dom's player card has him at a market value of league minimum.
That's so good. What's like, you know what? That'd be a fun exercise to find like who the least valuable, not least valuable, who's like the most below market value player according to his cards.
I'm pretty sure somebody at The Athletic did a story on that, but like we could find it and talk about it.
I think the story is about like, if I'm thinking of the right one, it's best contract and worst contract. So it's like market value for the length of the contract. So like, for example, at the time when they wrote it, like it was probably like Erik Karlsson or something. And so since he was only like a $5 million defenseman according to market value, his contract was like negative 6.5 per year times 5 years. So it was like a negative $30 million contract. So I'd be curious to know like on a per year basis. So it'd be like Ristolainen's worth like minus 4.8. Like I wonder what if there's any that are higher than that. Okay, let's wrap it up with Columbus Blue Jackets. They have one thing on their mind, and that's the boy that put up 23 points at this year's World Juniors.
I don't even think it was intentional either.
No, dude, they signed Goudreau. This team was trying to be good. It's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. They've also had a ton of injuries, like a ridiculous.
Oh, that's 100% the reason that it's like this. But they were trying to be good, but they still sucked before the injuries.
Yeah, they
like high key. Like Werenski going out for the year is a blessing for them because he's good enough to have gotten them like maybe a couple extra wins on the season.
100%.
He's done for the year after 13 games. Line missed a bunch of games. Like, does he even exist anymore? Remember when he scored 44 goals as an 18 or 19-year-old?
Yeah, he's only 12
and was actually challenging Austin Matthews for the Calder Trophy when Matthews scored 40 goals as a first overall pick.
I still think he's got it in him.
Well, yeah, he's got it in him. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah, but this team is awful.
I don't really care how awful the team is. If you have Patrick Laine and Johnny Gaudreau on the same team, they should be playing together.
100%, but that's not his fault. He's still scoring at nearly half a goal a game.
Oh, I didn't realize he had only played 28 games.
Oh, yeah, he missed a ton of time.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgive him. I just saw the 12 goals and 10 assists.
Yeah.
I missed the games played. I was like kind of scrolled over a bit, so the games played was blocked.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what this team does at the deadline because I like their core. They've got some wicked prospects. David Jiricek just had an MVP caliber tournament in the World Juniors. Yeah.
And they still have guys that are going to be unbelievably sick down the line. Like Cole Sillinger is only at 7 points in 38 games. That's not who he is. That's not Cole.
And he's dating Tate McRae. So does it really matter how many points he puts up?
Take the year off, buddy. You won.
Go on tour with her, dude. The NHL doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's over.
If she makes 100 times what you do, just go be a sugar daddy.
No.
Or actually, no, the opposite. Let her be your sugar mama.
No, he's the trophy husband. Get out of here.
He's the trophy husband. That's it. Okay. This was fun. Oh, they have Jacob Voracek, too. Forgot about that. He's been out for a while.
What a guy.
With a concussion. Should we just reminisce about players that Columbus has, or should we try to wrap up this pod? Okay, we're a little over. Actually, you know what? That was pretty good timing. It's only
not bad.
It's less. It's 7:53. We probably
a little bit of an extended episode, but first.
No, that's fine. I think if anything under 50 minutes, I think is solid. We kind of started 7:05 ish. But yeah, so hopefully this was a helpful episode for getting everyone caught up on NHL news.
Oh, yeah.
I know it was for me because I personally haven't been paying terribly close attention to players over the holidays and with getting set up for school and stuff. But now it's January and everything's chill. And, so it was nice to get sort of caught up on the Eastern Conference. Do you have anything to add, Ryan, before we close off our first episode of the Bandwagon Hockey Podcast?
No, I think this was a good kickoff, and looking forward to the West on this coming weekend. So
we'll do the Western Conference on Sunday. That episode should be available Sunday night / Monday. Currently TBD on that, depending on how much we get figured out in terms of off the mic situations. So without further ado, that'll do it for the first episode of the Bandwagon Hockey Podcast. Thank you for listening, and catch you on Sunday.
See you.